And first of all, I welcome Sandesh Visoriya ji, Associate Director, Technical Services, Trial Interactive, Transperfect team. Dear sir, we welcome you, and we have our Head of Department, Dr. Saurav Processor, and our students, and we are on the YouTube live. I want few words from our Head of Department, Dr. Saurav Kese, for this event and starting the session. Over to Saurav sir, if possible. I think okay, maybe sir have some connectivity issue. First, I want to give a brief bio sketch for our today's speaker, Sandesh Visoriya ji. Mr. Sandesh Visoriya, Mr. Sandesh Visoriya is an industry trailblazer in clinical research technology. Sandesh currently holds the position of Associate Director Technical Services at Transperfect Life Sciences, where he is celebrated for his exceptional leadership and vision. With over 11 plus years of progressive experience, he stands at the cutting edge of clinical operations, regulatory publishing, TMF management, and technology implementation. Mr. Sandesh has led high-performing global teams including solution architects, project managers, regulatory publishers, and configuration specialists, consistently delivering complex projects on time and with remarkable quality. He is a master in process automation, systems integration, validation, data migration, advanced analytics, and revenue optimization. His expertise also encompasses GXP compliance, audit readiness, workflow transformation, digital collaboration spaces, advanced document management, and EISF solutions. Sandesh leadership style is rooted in empowering teams, driving innovation, and inspiring a relentless pursuit of excellence and operational efficiency. He bridges a razor-sharp focus on problem solving, people management, strategic planning, and stakeholder communication, bridging the gap between business needs and technical execution. Sandesh is a trusted subject matter expert for eTMF, CTMS, eCTD, QMS, RPA, ISF, and learning management platforms, helping organizations navigate ever-changing regulatory landscapes. He has pioneered initiatives in lean process improvement, risk mitigation, client engagement, capacity planning, and change management. Sandesh is also a dedicated mentor known for creating comprehensive SOPs, spread headings, global training, and developing robust process documentation. He has a proven track record of successfully handling high stakes audits and driving cross functional teams to outperform industry benchmarks consistently. Holding a master's degree in pharmacy practice from SRM University, he combines technical depth with visionary strategy. His research has been published in leading journals, and he is a passionate advocate for leveraging technology to deliver better clinical outcomes. Sandesh actively leads corporate social responsibility programs and champions a culture of knowledge sharing and community impact, admired for his clarity, integrity, empathy, and results oriented mindset. He inspires excellence at every level. I really once again warm welcome to Sandesh ji from the on the behalf of ISF family and on the behalf of our head of department Dr. Saurav Kose and on the behalf of our principal director cum principal Dr. GD Gupta sir. Once again welcome you sir.
Thank you, Madhavji, for the warm welcome. Let me know if you can hear me okay and you can see my slides.
Yes, you are okay and good to go, sir. And here is our Dr. Saurav Kose, sir, is somewhere very busy, sir. And in between session, he will give his words, sir. We can start the session, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Madhavji, and thanks to Kosi sir. I know that he got a meeting and he just called me on, so that's all right. But then thanks for inviting me and sharing my thoughts once again at the ISF platform. It's always a proud and privileged moment for me to share my knowledge and interact with students. All right, so I'm going to start with my topic, and I'll probably speak to like close to 30-35 minutes. And if there are any questions, then we'll take those questions by end of this session. Uh, so my slides are visible. Hope can somebody again confirm if it's okay and it's moving?
Good to go, sir.
Okay, so as we can see, today's topic is good pharmacy practice, and I personally belongs to the pharmacy practice branch in M-Pharm. This is something which is very close to my heart. When over the weekend I spoke to Dr. Kose, we spoke about how pharmacy practice can make a difference and share some of my stories and his stories and stuff like this. So I'll try to do a justice to the topic, but if not, just forgive me. And you can see my mail ID on this slide, just in case if you have any questions, and if you cannot ask during this meeting, then feel free to ask, at the later phase, and I'll try my best to answer. So jumping into the topic, and wanted to start and connect with specialization in pharmacy, right? Whenever we are trying to do M form or even we are doing B form, or if we are confused whether we need to do B form or form D, the very first thing comes in: what are the different specializations that are available in the institutes or in the academics that we are aware of? So as you can see that we can do specialization in pharmaceutics, pharmaceutical chemistry, pharmacology, cognosy, analysis, biotechnologies, regulatory affair, industrial pharmacy, and so on. Now these are all available, and it becomes very tricky that, hey, what is that I need to choose? Where do I need to study? What is the focus that I need to bring in? What could really impact my career and life and stuff like this? So I try to list it some of the specializations that are available in the market, but I'm very sure we will have more than these. So I just want to give quick overview when we are done with B form and doing M form. But again, the Form D and other courses are also available into the market. Moving to the next slide, I try to give some of the high level of descriptions on what do we do in these kind of branches or the specialization, but I'm very sure the academians will do more justice than me. It's been a long distance from these courses, but if we see about and we talk about pharmaceutics, which is more focused on manufacturing, development, and evaluation of dosage forms, drug delivery system, etc., etc. If we talk about pharmaceutical chemistry, it is more towards drug and drug synthesis and stuff like this, while pharmacology is more towards pharmacokinetics and dynamics and the clinical and pharmacological studies of the drugs. Cognosy is slightly different than all these, where we talk about natural products, plants, animals, marine sources, etc., etc. Similarly, if we talk about analysis, it is more on the analysis of a particular drugs, whether it's SPLC, GC, spectroscopies, and then stuffs like that. We also talk about pharmaceutical biotechs. Again, this is again about biotechnological component or giving a link to it to the pharmaceutical stuffs. While regulatory affairs is very much specific to what are we submitting to the regulatory agencies. As we know, we manufacture the drug, we do the clinical trials, but ultimately we send to the regulatory agencies for the approvals and stuffs like this, and even pre and post approvals as well. That is what we are primarily or mainly focusing on, regulatory affairs. And in last, and I know I skipped some of those here, the pharmacy practice, which is very much directly focused on patients, clinical pharmacies, hospital pharmacies, community pharmacies, pharmacovigilance, where we talk about adverse drug reactions, public health. It also spoke about the medication therapy management, the patient counseling, the clinical pharmacology. In short, it gives us the direct relations with patients' health, patient care, and it impact to a larger scale to our community. While I'm praising pharmacy practice, I'm not trying to, somewhere compare them with any other branches, but each of that branch has got their own meaning, own career, own way of working, and stuffs like that. Now, the question comes why the selection of a branch is very critical and important, specifically in pharmacy. Obviously, it is very important not only in pharmacy in every sector, but it becomes very, very critical and important when it comes to pharmacy that, hey, what I need to choose. Is it biotechnology or is it something that pharmacy practice, cognosy? Again, you can choose everything based on what is your interest is and stuffs, but it is very important that you align your career goals, you align your needs, you align your requirements with what you are going to study and what it could bring in the table when you get into the industry. The very first thing that I try to notice and which is very critical is it determines your future career path and opportunities. So it is very essential that you study about that particular branch and what it could bring to you, and uh, why it is so critical for you to determine. The second thing is it also aligns with your skills, interest, and strengths. Now, suppose you love to talk with people, if you love to talk with patients, if you love to interact with people, but you are trying to choose pharmacognosy, that may not fulfill your desire of your career and stuff like this. And similarly, if you love to be, into chemical synthesis and stuffs like that, the pharmacy practice may not really help you to build your career and stuffs like this, because you may not be in the lab ever when you are studying as a pharmacy practice, while pharmaceutical chemistry may lead with you with labs and that kind of profile and work, and lot. So it's very much important that is it aligning with your skills, interest, and your strengths. If your strength is not to communicate with the patients, or if your strength is not to communicate with people, or if your strength is not to work on the computer, then maybe pharmacy practice may not be a great idea for us to do it. The another thing is we always look into the short term satisfactions. All right, this is where the job is very easy, let's do this. Maybe if we talk about marketing, yes, we can get jobs, but down the line it becomes tough. Can we do those campaigns? Can we meet doctors? Can we sell it? Maybe not everybody's cup of tea. Not everybody could do it, and that's where it is very much important that you align your education, you align your career with the long term job satisfaction and professional growth. While some people who love doing that, they would love that sector, while if you may not choose that. So it's really important that you are aligning your interest, you are aligning your job satisfaction, and thinking about the long term professional growth in your career. Influence roles is very important, right? That you are influenced by something, you are passionate about something, and you wanted to do that, but you unfortunately entered into the wrong path or a wrong career, and that's where it is very important that are you really interested in clinical care? Are you really interested in industry? Are you really wanted to go in academics for that matter? I always love to be in academics, and I'm not in academics, and I always miss it. So it is very important that you don't have any regret at later phase that hey, I'm doing this while I thought of doing something else. And that's where it is very important that you also consider the influence role in your career and stuff like that. uh, it's good to say some of the branches have higher demand in the industry while some has lesser demand, and it is good to consider that which all branches are having a higher demand and better potential earning and stuffs like this. Yes, interest is one factor, career growth is one factor, but earnings and financial stability is also a very important factor in all of our life, and we look forward for that. So it is very important that we consider this as well. Again, specialization and expertise means basically in which area you wanted to be an expert or specialized in, so that you can very specifically talk and build your career and confidence around it. Some of the people also wanted to go for advanced certifications, advanced studies abroad, and global careers. And it is very critical again to see what are we studying with, right? If we talk about PharmD, if we talk about pharmacy practice and clinical pharmacist in India, yes, there is a lot of scope, booming scope. But if we talk about abroad, there is huge and huge and huge scope. And that's where, it is very important and critical that what we are studying and the scope of that is aligned with your advanced studies and certifications and things like that. Again, it also helps building your professional network. Now, what is professional network is all about? The area where you are going to work, you're going to spend maximum time, you are going to meet colleagues, you're going to meet your friends, and that's where you will build your professional network and career and stuff like this. So this also directly or indirectly impact your stuffs. Prepare you for your current and emerging trend in healthcare and pharma. Obviously, it is very important to see what is going to come in after 10 years or what is going to come after 5 years. So what you're choosing now, it may be very important. Let me give you an example. Now, if we go and buy a car, probably less people wanted to buy a diesel car. Uh, there are very few people who wanted to buy petrol car, but people wanted to buy EV. And even when we buy EV, people are still thinking about we need to buy the hydrogen based and stuff like this. So ultimately, we are seeing what is going to happen after 10 years and stuff like this. And your decision is really going to be aligned with or going to be very much dependent on what is going to happen in healthcare and pharma sector, specifically with the trend of AI, automations, and various other technologies that is taking in place in pharmaceutical industry. Personal ambition, that's the key. I mean, that is one thing which I have given a lot of value. People will say to you that there is a lot of scope in this particular branch, there is a lot of salaries in this branch, this has an emerging boom or this that. But what matters ultimately, what is your heart saying, what is most important for you, what you love doing it, what you love enjoying it, and that is very very important. Specifically, I mean, the B Farm students will correlate. Do I enjoy pharmaceutical lab more, or I enjoy a computer lab more, or I enjoy maybe pharmacology lab more while I play with animals and drugs and stuff like this. So your personal ambitions is very important. If it is meaningful, you are motivated, and if you are motivated, you can achieve any goals in your life. Uh, so moving to the next slide, these are some basic principles of good pharmacy practice. I'm very sure since this is seventh day of this seminar concept, and a lot of speakers in past spoke about it, so I won't take much time. But ultimately, the goal of pharmacy practice is more of patient centric or patient care based. How well the care of patient is being taken care, the professional ethics and code of conduct is being followed, and specifically safety, accuracy, and confidentiality of the patients is being managed and not compromised. If we look at this is somewhere also related or very much directly correlated with the GCP's core principles, where entire clinical industry is based on and being following. Now, talking about why pharmacy practice is an advanced course compared to other pharmacy specialization. These are a couple of things that I wanted to highlight where I think that, these are emerging trends, and that's where you get an A's on, and it could create an advantage if we practice the pharmacy accurately and as per need. One is pharmacy practices direct patient care focus. If we see in the pharmacy practice or Form D, you get chance to get into hospitals, you get chance to do ward rounds, you get chance to review the prescriptions, you get chance to visit drug information center, and that's where you are directly or indirectly interacting with doctors, patients, their therapy, and that kind of adds a lot of value, and your focus is directly on patient care. Even the for patient counseling itself is an huge sector nowadays, where it has a lot of boom and boom in this industry. Integration of multiple competencies. Now, when you are meeting with doctor, when you are having drug information center, when you are visiting the hospitals, performing the ward rounds, you are meeting different personalities, you are meeting different people, you're talking about different diseases, and ultimately that is building up a lot of competencies in you, because you're just not building your competencies related to your studies and stuff. So you're bringing in confidence in you. You're going to be accountable because you're talking to patients, uh, and it is also going to increase a lot of strength and self confidence within you, because the exposure or the kind of stuff that you got. Obviously, core healthcare teams, because you are again going to hospitals and being directly or indirectly. Uh, I'm sorry, can I ask to go on mute, please?
Richa,
एक तो जबरदस्ती तो ही करवा रहे हैं
Richa,
पैसे
Richa,
ही
Richa, Richa Dayani, please mute yourself.
Thank you. All right. So moving to the next one is core healthcare team. Obviously, the pharmacist, the clinical pharmacist is part of core team, and they are very much directly related to the patient health, well-being, and care. And that's where you are, having an advantage in there. Scope beyond dispensing. There is a common understanding or a common practice in India, at least, that if you are doing a pharmacy, you are going to open a medical shop. This is no more true, because in pharmacy practice, you're not really dispensing the drug, but supporting the patient and patient health while understanding the clinical situations and patient counseling and several other factors. There is a lot of regulatory and ethical responsibilities as well. Uh, Following that, a lot of advanced clinical knowledge, because that you are interacting with patients, it is very important that you have a clinical knowledge, and the curriculum of pharmacy practice brings in lot of advanced clinical knowledge that helps you to facilitate your job, perform your duties once you are into the healthcare industry and doing your jobs. Communication and leadership skills, as I mentioned earlier, because you are interacting with several parties involved in patient healthcare, and specifically those ward rounds, and managing the drug information center, along with several other topics where you have to prepare the PowerPoints, presentation, drug use cases, and stuffs. It build in lot of communications and leadership skills, and which is key for any candidate in any sector, for that matter, to crack the interview or to identify the job. That's where it is very important. Technology integrations, again, as I said about AI and the boom, if you talk about clinical industry where I am landed and where I am working, it's all about automations, it's all about integrations, it is all about technologies, how we are able to do the task with the help of technologies, rather than just doing it monotonously and stuff like this. So it is very important from a technologies front. Continuous professional development, obviously, I think that is very common topic, that everywhere we have a professional development, so that in pharmacy practice. Impact on public health. Now, I won't say that you are impacting the public health only by doing the pharmacy practice, it would be incorrect. Even though if you're doing a pharmaceutical chemistry or cognosy or ecology, ultimately you are supporting the drug development. But the feeling of supporting the public health directly, that is an emotion that comes in when you are interacting with a patient, doing a patient counseling. You can see that on our front, and that kind of a different feeling that comes in while we are talking about pharmacy practice. So I think these are the couple of points that I thought, at least for me, when I did pharmacy practice way back in 2011 to 13, that kind of touched my heart, that that these are the skills that I can really develop or I can really gain in. And I can say that most of these I'm able to utilize where I'm right now and help me to do my job better every day. So these are the specific pointers which kind of brings me towards the pharmacy practice specialization. So in a core summary, I just try to summarize in three bullet points. What I discussed in my previous slide is basically this is patient-centered role that required a lot of clinical knowledge, high level of decision making, and the regulatory expertise, because ultimately on spot we have to make decisions related to somebody's treatment and stuff like this. It also brings or aligns pharmacists with their clinical excellence and the direct health outcome, as we are directly interacting with the patient. So it is very, very important. And again, the practical experience, the interprofessional skills, the ethical judgment, everything that is needed for you to perform into the job is being practically visible when you uh, go through the pharmacy practice course, and you can see that we are growing in that area. uh, Now let's talk about career opportunities. Now, what I try to highlight here is basically what are the different career opportunities that we have. Now, if I talk about career opportunity and try to list them, I may not be able to list all of them here, because uh, you know there are several and several opportunities in there. But some of them I try to minimize and put it on my slides. Is So there are several sectors, there are several industries, and basically the areas where we can develop our careers. One of those is scientific writing and communication, where somebody who's very, very strong in understanding the protocol, clinical trials and stuffs, they can really write and review the documents related to scientific research. There are several job positions like medical writer, regulatory affairs, scientific affairs, medical editors, pharmacy publications, and stuffs like that. Now, these are just title. There are hierarchies as well in it. Level 1, level 2, level 3, lead, manager, director, and etc. So imagine in one particular sections how many job roles that we are thinking to talk about. There are some specialty careers as well that pharmacy practice brings in. Now, what is these specialty careers? Means specific roles, very specific roles that maybe other people may not be able to find out, right? Some people are specialized in oncology or pediatrics and stuffs, and they become those specialized pharmacists. There is a lot of tradition of home healthcare pharmacist nowadays. There is a trend of nuclear pharmacist. You see a lot of wellness centers, and the pharmacists, those who are running the wellness center, they are no more only the pharmacies where drug is being dispensed, and that's where the wellness consultants and stuff like this. Clinical services pharmacist is also being a booming trend nowadays in the industry. I know some of these may not be that much traditional and booming in India, but if we talk about abroad, huge opportunities in there. Hospital pharmacy is a well-known industry area where it is booming like anything nowadays, and the one who is given advantage is pharmacy practice, PharmD guys, where staff pharmacist, clinical pharmacist, or a residence pharmacist, or a medical safety officers. All these job profiles are available under hospital pharmacy. If we talk about pharmacy, academics and education is one of the key area which is always growing. Now it becomes more specialized when you're talking about pharmacy practice. You know, and I may not do more justice on it, but based on my knowledge, if a college is running a pharmacy practice, a college is running a Form D, all the staffs is being preferred who belongs to the pharmacy practice area or the pharmacology or that sector. Hence, it becomes very, very important and booming and growing when we talk about the academics and education sectors as well. There's a lot of government and regulatory bodies and government jobs that we can also look at. Now we can think of like, well, why are we talking about pharmacy practice in that directly? Obviously not, they are just not open for pharmacy practice, but the curriculum that you go through, it very well helps you to crack these interviews or crack these exams because of the technical and the clinical terminologies that you are going to be aware throughout these courses. So if you talk about government jobs and in stuffs, you have drug inspector, you have regulatory affairs, pharmacist, drug controller officers, and etc. And so there's a lot of government jobs lying in there. Not easy to be honest, but very very repetitive jobs that we can look at. Consulting and healthcare IT. This is one area where there is a lot of boom and boom. I will talk about specifically about CROs and the area where I'm sitting in, but and where the pharmacy practice is playing a key role. But these are some other jobs that are available into the market under consulting and healthcare IT. Pharmaceutical industry, if we talk about, is again n number of jobs, right from regulatory affairs associates, medical science license, pharmacovigilance specialists, CRAs, uh, product manager, brand manager, all these. There are some additional opportunities as well, which are, in a way not aligned to a particular industry, but if we look at, insurance and claim processing pharmacist, managed care pharmacist, drug information specialist, and stuff. Now, there's a lot of insurance that we are claiming. We know that there is a lot of healthcare and medicinal insurances that we keep doing. And in the back end, the team who is supporting is really specialized, who ensures that the data and the information that is being provided is being valid and being taken care of. And similarly, the drug information specialist who is going to provide a lot of information about drugs to the medical professionals. Now, this is my last topic, but this is core of my heart because this is where I sit in. So, career opportunities in CRO, and what is CRO basically is, so there's a lot of pharmaceutical industry or the pharmaceutical companies who are doing these clinical trials. The clinical trials, just for the information, is a part of drug development process where it is done into the several phases, and wherever the sponsor or the pharmaceutical organizations is unable to perform certain activities, they delegate those to the CROs. Now, there are several departments in those CROs. There are several CROs in India and abroad, and in each CROs, usually these are the high-level departments. But beyond this, there are several roles in it. So if we talk about a CRO consists of clinical operations, which eventually is CRAs and the ClinOps managers and stuff like this. Site management people who's managing the sites, project management who is managing the entire project, biostatisticians, the medical writers, the pharmacovigilance, where we are processing the AEs, SAEs, adverse drug reactions that the patients are reporting, the population is reporting for the already marketed drug. We have quality assurance, clinical trial suppliers, regulatory affairs, again, medical affairs, and clinical monitoring. So there are more than these, but these are the high-level departments that we see in an CRO, where the pharmacy practice has used job opportunities. Now, These are the roles that are available, and they are highly focused on pharmacy practice and clinical trials. Because the CROs is running the clinical trials, they prefer somebody who understand the term clinical. They understand the term hospital pharmacy. They understand what is clinical pharmacology, what is pharmacotherapeutics, what is protocol, or what is results, conclusion, and stuff like this. So these are the several roles that you would see at the sponsor, CROs, sites, regulatory agencies, and ethics committee, etc. These are the key stakeholders for any particular clinical trials. Right from the sponsors, you get content writers, TMF specialist. Again, when we talk about TMF specialist, you got like TMF specialist one, two, three, senior, lead, TMF honor, manager, senior manager, associate director, director, etc. Likewise, you got several other jobs. You go into the lab sector, then you got lab analyst, lab technician, lab auditor. This may not be directly related to pharmacy practice, but there is several jobs at labs as well available. Similarly, if you go to the sites, there is a lot of clinical pharmacists, there is a lot of clinical trials associates, or there's a lot of CRC, clinical research coordinators, where pretty much what you did in your pharmacy practice and in your course and in your project for that matter is pretty much that you would be doing at the site. uh, we also have several other advanced roles like data management roles and study startup roles into the um, CRO industry. Now, I also try to highlight key tips to crack an interview in the clinical trials or in a CRO. And I thought this is going to be a very important because uh, we also have to understand and link while selecting. And I know that I started why selection of a branch is very important and stuffs, because everything it's going to come to you cracking the interview. And when the questions that is going to be raised in interviews, it is also related to what is industry demanding and what is industry looking at, and how you can relate that pretty much well with your course that you studied and stuffs like this. So it is very important while you're trying to crack an interview. First of all, you understand which company that you are appearing for, what kind of different services that they are providing, what are their clients, what are the therapeutic areas that they are working on, and their recent achievements. And it is just not only for you to present yourself in the interview, but it is very important that is it aligning with what you studied, or what is your career dream that you matched while selecting your branch. It is very critical for you also to understand how is the structure of CRO and what is the role that you are going to play into the clinical research. And now probably you can relate this very well, because if you are studying a course, and in that course if you are going to understand what is clinical research, then while applying the job it is going to be very easy for you to understand which area that I'm going to work with. You're going to imagine what is my role is going to be and how it is going to be look like. So very important. ICS and regulatory and then basic pharmacology, that is one of the key area that the companies looked at. And I think with studying pharmacology or pharmacy practice, uh, more and more students are going to be advanced with pharmacotherapeutics, pharmacology, and then stuff like this. While we study all these things, it is also important that are we familiar with the common terminologies that is being used in the industry. I have a very funny incidents that I wanted to talk about. And one of my first interviewer asked me question, what is SUSAR? And I was like, are you asking the SUSARs that is being given when you had a crack or something? And I was rejected. And then I studied pharmacy practice, and I realized we are talking about adverse events, suspected, unsuspected, reactions and stuff like this. So imagine the terminologies that you are aware of and study. It's not easy unless you study them and stuff, and that's where it is very important that we are aware of the common terminologies that are being used in the industry. And your curriculum in a way give you that stuff. I won't say that every curriculum is going to give everything in your curriculum, but some of the areas that you can learn from your curriculum, while some of that you would need to put efforts beyond your course and stuff like this. Uh, Obviously, you also need to highlight, because you are a fresher, and what experience that you are going to share. And in all these interviews, your base is what kind of research work that you did it, and what did you learn from your research. So it's very important going to be that what you did being a researcher in pharmacy practice, what did you learn, what were the outcomes, and try to relate that with the job that you are going to do with. So that's where it is going to be very, very demanding in this case as well. Uh, Reliability and accuracy, I think that is something that an organization looks in every employee. So that is one of the important factor as well. Strong communication skills, teamwork, adaptability, and problem solving. These are the key areas for a person to demonstrate and to find a job. I mean, everyone is looking for somebody who is a strong communication, who is a very good team player, and somebody who can adapt to the things and solve the problems. Not everything is going to be as per us or as per our requirement, and that's where company thinks that how somebody can adapt to their environment so quickly and perform a work with team. And when we talk about team, different nature, different work, and different stuffs, and that's where it becomes very important. uh, Showing enthusiasm for learning and professional attitude, that's very critical, right? We are going for interview and we need job, and that's very important that we understand the learning attitude and professional attitude. And I think that is, I have seen when we interact with patients, doctors, hospitals, ward rounds, presentations, that is something being self developed during 2 years. While I know we can adopt to it, but it takes time, and you eventually going to practice if you are doing all those things in there. If you have if you have done pharmacy practice, you don't need to mention any certification in clinical research or pharmacovigilance, because the course itself is a certification. We need certification in clinical trials when we have not studied something related to clinical trials. So when we are doing a degree which is completely related to clinical trials, that's where I don't think so a certification system. Again, the other parameters to figure out a job is maybe going through a LinkedIn, webinar, job fairs, and then it's like that. Common scenario-based questions, which I'm very sure that all of us prepares, and then keep it ready, and I think that's very important. Dressing sense, being professional in stuffs. Is it important? Very much important, because that is going to judge your personality, how you are, attending an interview, or how you are growing and representing yourself in an interview. That's where it is very, very important. Required documents, carrying a required documents. Now, somebody say, well, I forgot this, right? It's easy. Interviewer is not going to ask you anything, but he's going to judge you probably because you don't have attention to details. You don't really check your stuffs, and they might need to correlate that, hey, if you can miss in your interview, why don't you miss in a job? Now, we can answer ourselves these things by giving excuses that, well, this is going to happen in everybody's life. All right, yes, understood. But in an interview, there are 100 people appearing. So why would not interviewer prefer a person who didn't forget rather than somebody who forgot these things? Stay updated with industry trends and regulatory news. That is very, very important. And I think pharmacy practice is one of the area where we are always up to date with several booming conferences happening across. And then the last is be open to entry level roles to start your career. Occasionally we think about, well, this is well distanced, this has not a good salary, this has this, that. Not really. I mean, anything that you get in, just start with it, and things changes. For that matter, and I know Kose sir may not be online, but he knows me and he was my dear senior in my graduation and post graduation. I started my journey being an entry level job where I used to earn 5,000 odd rupees. And it was in a place which is very far away from my hometown. But from there, we started, we keep growing, learning, and I'm sitting in front of you right now. So it is very important that we are open to learn. I still say that the first job gave me the maximum learning than anything else. And, you know, I would say in this way, right? In the first job, you run behind learning, not money. Money will start running behind you after your first job automatically when you have a competencies, when you have a growth, when you have, I'm sorry, when you have proven your skills and stuff like this. So, and I think that's my last slide. So if there is any questions, I can certainly answer. But I just wanted to thank you, everyone, for listening me patiently. I also once again wanted to thank ISF College of Pharmacy Moga. Chidi Gupta sir, I know he's not available today, but we had several other conferences in the past, and I always kind of thanked him the way he and his team taken time and privilege to promote pharmacy and specifically pharmacy practice in various platforms. Kose sir, for always his vision and mission, whenever we talk, we always spoke about what a difference that a pharmacy practice can make and stuff like this. So thanks to Kose sir for you. And thank you, Madhav sir, for arranging this session, allowing me to speak and listening me so patiently. Thank you very much. If there are any question, I'm happy to take.
Well, thank you, sir. Our team is looking for the questions, and for meanwhile, and it's you. I want to just give you feedback, just directly that you.
Sorry, sir, I can't hear
you
you.
yeah. It's my mic was off. You explained in such a manner you can see on the screen there is a thumbs and all things are going on. It's no need to be you need to say
Hello.
yes, hello. It feedback is come directly by the hertz, and I think Mr. Aman Sarma is going to mic on. Aman Aman Sarma, do you have any question? Is there any hands raised?
And feel free to ask in any language that you prefer. I
Nitish
can
Kumar.
speak Hindi and
Nitish Kumar is one hand. Nitish Kumar, please unmute yourself and ask the judicious question. Nitish Kumar, you have raised your hand. And Mr. M.K. Grover, if you can listen my words, please unmute yourself and ask question. Mr. Nitish Kumar or Mr. M.K. Grover. Well, sir, maybe they have some issues, and thank you for thank you for these wonderful explanations regarding the clinical research organizations, and in my heart I want to say you these are very responsible job. You are going to protect life because you have to be very follow the very good ethics. I think so. It's very mandatory, and the one mistake can problem for one patient, but if in CRO there is a mistake that can lead thalidomide and sulfanilamide tragedy like the situations, and that's why you have explained each and every aspect of ethical and judicious use of clinical research organization. I am really thank you, sir, for taking invitation from us, and I'm really thankful to Dr. Saurabh Kose sir and Dr. GD Gupta sir for giving such opportunity to with you, and we have joined together in this platform, sir. And I have a one request and one question and from all of the audience who have joined of this family, because on the peak hour we have 107 participants. Sir. One request is that from my heart that our students are doing Form D postbaccalaureate, and M-Farm pharmacy factories we have students, and they are doing their best on their hard works. Every student at a stretch they are working, sir, and we are giving them best facility to take the challenges of all the field like pharmacovigilance, clinical research, and all things. And definitely, sir, we will definitely uh, we will try to connect you to give them job opportunities as per their eligibility and efficiency. Definitely we will need your help in this situation, and that's why I want one remark from your side, sir.
Thank you, Madhav sir. And yes, I'm always happy and ready to help whichever way is possible.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Yes, sir, we have one more question. What is the question you just put on the mic? Abhishek is on.
Sir, there's a question from Nitya. It's asking, can you tell me after completing B pharmacy what are the entry levels?
Okay, so you're talking about entry level, if I heard it correct, right? Whatever the jobs that I have mentioned on my slides, right? Every of these job roles are available at entry level. I know it is little hard to get these jobs, and that's why